The field of fundamental theoretical physics is generally a field where one is looking for simplicity or new patterns, looking for the basic laws that describe the world. And that is not something the models are currently superhuman at. That being said, however, if one looks at state of the art large language models, they're increasingly becoming good at theoretical physics, and they've also become, so they are not yet at a superhuman level, but they're still already very useful while writing a paper. If one wanted to do some calculation, one puts, there many times one comes across something where one says, well, that's in some textbook somewhere. Then one can go look up the textbook and see how that calculation is done there. But often that could just take several days before one pulls out the right reference and one figures out how some calculation is done. And these models can do a lot of these things very fast. So right now they're already very helpful assistants. Whether how much of an impact that will have on the field, only time will tell. It depends also on how the models will evolve.
So the breakthroughs in theoretical physics usually come more from compression and conceptual reframing than from processing huge amount of information.
Correct. And as you said, breakthroughs in theoretical physics are effectively, are really about, as you said, exactly, conceptual reframing. And they're not just about, processing a large amount of data. And so far, these models are clearly not superhuman at that. They're superhuman at processing large amounts of data, but they're not yet in a position where they're able to have, supremely interesting or very interesting new conceptual ideas. They can do a lot of standard calculations, as I said, and that's actually also surprising. It's an ability that they've developed in the past year. 1 year ago, they didn't have the ability to do graduate level physics calculations. They now do have that ability, but they still don't have the ability to have vision, ask the right questions, generate new concepts. We don't know if they'll develop that ability. They might, but they might not also. Some people believe that they will develop the ability. It's also possible that they won't develop the ability, that their development will saturate. It's really something that we will know the answer to only in a few years from now.